If you don't get it, you don't get it.
What do you mean I don't get it, House? I'm a genius.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the best and worst reactions to having been on the receiving end of some pot shots from South Park.
How'd it go, baby?
Terrible, Ben. Some girl in Colorado's trying to become the new Jennifer Lopez.
Number 30. James Cameron. In season 16, South Park decided to tackle the perceived dwindling of human decency. Much of the episode poked fun at Mama June and Honey Boo Boo, but also included a humorous bit featuring Titanic director James Cameron.
Mr. Cameron, you don't have to do this. Why don't you just go back to your house in Malibu? Go work on another movie.
I have to do this. I have to try and raise it.
The bar isn't something that actually lowers, Mr. Cameron.
Cameron's real-life interest in deep-sea exploration was depicted as a means to literally raise the bar on human morality. Between his obsession with his mission and the sea shanty his crew belted out, it's an entertaining poke at the Terminator director's oceanic hobby.
His name is James Cameron, the bravest pioneer. No budget too steep, no sea too deep. Who's that? It's him, James Cameron.
During a Reddit AMA, he was asked about the episode and responded only with, "It's funny. It's like they were actually on the expedition, except I didn't actually make the crew sing a song about me." Number 29. Ed Sheeran. Although not a direct parody of Sheeran himself, he certainly had a reaction to its release. During Season 9's Ginger Kids episode, Cartman does a presentation about red-haired children.
We've all seen them on the playground, at the store, walking on the streets. They creep us out and make us feel sick to our stomachs. I'm talking, of course, about ginger kids.
Eric proceeds to describe them as disgusting creatures who have no souls and cannot survive in sunlight. While asleep, Kyle and Stan turn Cartman into a ginger, hoping for him to see the realities of his hate speech.
Wow, Cartman, you look different. Yes, well, it's interesting you should point that out, Kyle.
According to Sheeran, despite having been mocked for his red locks back in England, no one in the United States ever said a word. That is, until Ginger Kids came along. In an interview, he implied the episode had ruined his life in America after it aired. Number 28. Richard Dawkins. This two-part story arc of South Park took an extreme look at how the evolutionary process works.
All right, kids, it is now my job to teach you the theory of evolution.
Oh, boy!
Now, I, for one, think that evolution is a bunch of bullcrap, but I've been told I have to teach it anyway.
Garrison is heavily opposed to teaching evolution until convinced otherwise by notable evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins. Their new romance spawns an alternate future where religion doesn't exist.
You lived in the time when a great event happened, a glorious event that finally made all religion obsolete. Now, the entire world is atheist.
The real-life Dawkins' reaction to his South Park counterpart was a mixed bag. He loved the satirical take on a future founded on evolutionary facts, but took issue with the relationship between his fictional self and Garrison, saying he found it to be not satire. Number 27. Rob Schneider. Once a staple of Saturday Night Live, Rob Schneider left the comedy show to pursue a career in film acting. For a while, it seemed like Schneider's choices for roles all shared a common theme. From an animal to a gigolo and even a woman, he seemed to steer towards characters that fell into the fish out of water trope.
Rob Schneider was an animal. Then he was a woman. And now Rob Schneider is a stapler.
South Park extended this even further by turning him into a stapler and a carrot. While appearing on the Club Random podcast with Bill Maher, Schneider discussed the episode and how he thought it was very funny. And knowing how brutal the show can be on celebrities, his depiction could have been far worse.
I just remember how people wanted that to hurt you. You know, they's like, I did that. You see,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They wanted to.
Absolutely.
Did it make it? Did it bleed? Did it cut you?
Number 26. Ghost Hunters. Seeing notable acts lose their cool over a parody can be entertaining, but often it's steering into the satire that endears them even more to us fans. During one episode, Kyle's brother Ike keeps seeing dead celebrities.
Hi, Billy Mays here for Mega Scrub Cleanser. Are you tired of your kitchen counters getting those nasty stains? Don't just rub them, Mega Scrub them.
Billy Mays
No!
This leads the folks over at Ghost Hunters to the Broflovsky residence to see if they can solve this supernatural mystery. What follows is a brutal takedown on how the most mild sounds and smells can be spun to be the acts of the dead. During a Ghost Hunters live session in Milwaukee, the real Ghost Hunters played the clips from the show and jokingly called it a very accurate depiction of them, even going as far as to say,
Grant craps himself all the time.
Number 25, Danica Patrick. Cartman has a dream of becoming a NASCAR driver, but is convinced he's not poor and stupid enough to do so. With the help of his gullible buddy Butters, Eric eventually finds his way into the world of NASCAR, alongside the likes of drivers like Danica Patrick.
Bring it on, Earnhardt. You scared of the competition? I'm just as poor and stupid as you. I'm gonna drive, and I'm gonna go fast, and I'm gonna turn to the left sometimes.
Can we just get back to the subject of racing, please?
Bring it on, Danica.
Patrick, by far and large, comes off a lot easier in this episode than many others on this list. Shown to be more irritated by Cartman's behavior than anything, the real Danica Patrick took her portrayal in stride.
Oh, son of a...
During a press conference, she chuckled at the depiction of racers in general and took it as a compliment to be featured in such an episode. Number 24, Carlos Mencia. Any fan of this show knows how much the writers love to poke fun at Kanye West. But during the infamous Fish Sticks episode, Carlos Mencia takes both a literal and figurative beating.
It wasn't me. I didn't really start the fish stick thing, all right?
You just saying that now because you're scared.
No, man, it's true. I stole it, man. I took credit for it because I'm not actually funny.
While West takes his frustrations out physically on the comedian, the show also takes a swipe at the accusations of Mencia having stolen jokes from other comics. When asked about this appearance on the episode, Mencia took it all in stride and seemed to enjoy being mocked. He did, however, comment on how he was more surprised at the emotional blowback from the people in general regarding his joke theft fiasco.
What I didn't realize was the emotional, visceral reaction to all this from people. I didn't see that coming.
Number 23, Slash. If you're old enough to be watching this, then The Secret of Santa Claus is probably out of the bag by now. But according to South Park, it's not as clear-cut when it comes to the Guns N' Roses guitar player Slash.
Come on, kids write to Slash every day, but it all just goes into this big pile over here. The reason I can't tell you where Slash lives is because he don't live nowhere. Don't you ever wonder how Slash can be all those places at the same time? It's because he's made up.
One season 15 episode puts a spin on the Santa Claus narrative by portraying Slash as a magical figure who every kid thought was fake but might actually be real.
Kyle, look. You don't think that he isn't real? Maybe. Or maybe we haven't been told such a big fib after all.
In our world, Saul Hudson, aka Slash, is indeed a real guitar player. But when asked by a fan in a Reddit AMA if he was real or made up by their parents, Slash said he was real but couldn't be 100% positive of it. Number 22, Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen came into the public eye through his To Catch a Predator TV series. At the height of his popularity, South Park ran an episode where Hansen's signature style was used to help shine a light on Tourette's syndrome.
It all started when I received this touching letter from a brave little boy in Colorado.
Dear Mr. Hansen, I have Tourette's, and I want the world to understand what it's like. Won't you do a special report on me so that the world can learn to accept us instead of just laugh?
Cartman has been faking the condition to justify spouting hate speech without any consequences. Hoping to do his worst, Cartman gets Hansen to showcase him in a television special, which takes Hansen's real-life work and inflates it to a preposterous extent. When asked about it on the Law and Crime Network, the real Hansen praised the show's portrayal of him, even commenting on how his kids thought he was cool for being on that show.
When Chris Hansen was parodied on South Park, that was a big deal. Suddenly I was cool.
Number 21, Meghan and Harry. The marriage of Meghan Markle to Prince Harry brought an enormous amount of attention to the royal family, particularly when the duo chose to step away from their official duties to pursue a seemingly more normal life. However, it seems their contradicting reasons for their departure is what South Park took aim at.
We want privacy!
privacy! We want privacy!
The episode eviscerated the duo's seeming frustration with a constant bombardment from the media and a lack of privacy, all while finding any way they can to draw attention to themselves. After the episode aired, Markle was allegedly very upset and overwhelmed with how they were portrayed. There were even reports of a possible lawsuit against the show, and that insiders claimed future episodes would be monitored for further mockery.
He's right. Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we? If it's truly what we want, then we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life.
Number 20. Nicole Snooki Laval. When Jersey Shore first hit the airwaves, fans couldn't get enough of the antics, the catfights, and promiscuous behavior of the show's star, Nicole Snooki Polizzi.
They're like so rude sometimes, like the way they say things. I'm not used to like people being so rude like that. It's kind of offensive.
It didn't take long before South Park dedicated an entire episode to poking fun at the ever-expanding world that was the Jersey Shore. One notable gag was their portrayal of Snooki as some type of carnal animal that attacked anyone who came near her.
What is it? It's called a Snooki. It's very famous.
The day after the episode aired, the real Snooki took to Twitter and quoted her South Park counterpart in saying, "Snooki wants smush smush. We've officially made it." Clearly laughing at herself, it's a far better reaction than some of the others on this list.
Why are you people doing this? But I told you, it's just a Jersey thing.
Number 19. Robert Smith. So this one is less parody as it's just a rare appearance. But come on, it's Robert Smith of The Cure. Going all the way back to the first season of the show, Smith appeared as himself to help the boys fight Barbra Streisand. We'll get to her later.
Am I too late? Who are you?
Dude, it's Robert Smith of The Cure.
Here, you boys hold this walkie. You can help me fight her.
Transforming into a Mothra-like creature, he defeats her and even as Jesus call him their savior.
Wow, Robert Smith is the greatest person that ever lived.
Our savior.
When asked about his appearance and portrayal years later, Smith was surprised by what he saw, but loved how Kyle gave huge props to The Cure's Disintegration album.
Disintegration is the best album ever!
Number 18. Brian Boitano. In the second Spirit of Christmas shorts, the boys can't decide whether to help Jesus or Santa. So when Stan asks, audiences are wondering why they'd ask for help from a figure skater.
Now we've got to think here. Now let's see. What would Brian Boitano do? Yeah, what would Brian Boitano do?
Did someone say my name?
The same rang true in the South Park movie, but with a fantastic musical number that followed.
What would Brian Boitano do if he was here right now? He'd make a plan and he'd follow through. That's what Brian Boitano do.
Boitano himself saw the movie and worried about his portrayal, but came out loving what they had done. He's since worked with the creators to design t-shirts with the slogan and sell them for charity. On top of that, it introduced him to the likes of younger fans who now only know him through the show.
Hi guys, Brian Boitano here. I just wanted to wish you a huge congratulations. I think your story is so incredible.
Number 17. Paris Hilton. Near the end of Season 8, South Park took aim at Paris Hilton and her status as a role model for the young girls in town.
I'm pleased to be here in Gouthdorp to announce the opening of my brand new store. A store where girls can buy everything they need to be just like me.
It's hard to tell which part is more brutal, the video playset at the mall or her competition with Mr. Slave that ends the episode. Either way, there's no mistaking how savage the show's takedown is.
Oh no, she didn't.
When asked what she thought, she responded by saying she had never seen the episode, but thought anytime someone makes fun of you, it should be taken as a compliment. Given how she's tweeted about watching the show at home, we're guessing she's still a fan.
It's adorable.
Number 16. Terri Irwin. How long after someone passes away are you allowed to tell jokes about them?
Boy, there's a king croc right there. He must be 4 meters, 12, 13 feet long at least. This croc has enough power in its jaws to rip my head right off.
In the case of South Park, it's 7 weeks.
You know, the whole crocodile hunter thing, it's just a little soon, you know? I mean, he just died a few weeks ago, and it's just not super cool. You gotta leave.
Famed crocodile hunter Steve Irwin had been fatally injured in September of 2006. In late October of the same year, South Park aired an episode that featured him with a stingray sticking out of his chest. Terri Irwin, Steve's wife, was incredibly offended by the portrayal, citing concerns about how her children would feel if they saw it. She found support in her friend Mark Amy, who suggested Irwin fans sick their dangerous pets on the creators of the show in protest.
Hey, Satan, you got a little problem.
What?
Somebody showed up in a crocodile hunter costume. It's really offending some of the other guests.
Oh, jeez.
Number 15. Sarah Jessica Parker. One thing the creators of South Park have always stood by is their idea that anything and everything is fair game when it comes to comedy.
No writer would take the time to make fun of Sarah Jessica Parker just because they think she's ugly.
Yes, they would!
So when female writers called them out for being mean about tearing into Sarah Jessica Parker over her looks, the two, once again, didn't hold back.
The book is full of disgusting words and acts, including Sarah Jessica Parker, who is mentioned 465 times.
Despite what anyone else thought, Parker herself never addressed the episode directly. Instead, in an interview with Stylist magazine, she commented on how people seem to think being mean is funny. She went on to add that personal versus professional criticism was uncivilized and vulgar.
Well, obviously, I just think it's wrong to make fun of anybody's physical appearance. My wife is a beautiful woman, and I know that most people agree with me.
Number 14. Mama June Shannon. Shows like Toddlers and Tiaras and Here Comes Honey Boo Boo have received all kinds of criticisms regarding the depictions of their stars.
Her favorite foods are sketty and butter, and she likes drinking Red Bull and Mountain Dew.
The latter has been the subject of countless commentary about the family's diet and lifestyle choices over the course of its 4 seasons.
Come on now, Boo Boo. Now get up and wave to them judges.
Given the type of language often used to describe the popular TLC program, there's a lot of irony in June Shannon's reaction to being satirized on South Park. During a TMZ appearance, she was asked what she thought of the parodies of her show. Taking some in stride, she wasn't a fan of how South Park took her on, saying,
But just the way they portrayed the show, it was kind of trashy.
Number 13. Bob Saget. As the original host of America's Funniest Videos, Bob Saget's quips were subtle and often bordered on some of the worst dad jokes out there.
Now, these next clips are all about coincidence. Now, suppose at the moment that I opened my mouth, from somewhere in the background you heard like a rooster crow. That would be coincidence, unless I worked on a poultry farm.
Yet, week after week, people would tune in to see what videos were coming next. Back in season 1 of South Park, Bob's gig as a host was parodied as Stan's grandfather watched America's stupidest home videos. Grandpa Marsh loved the jokes, but the boys found them incredibly lame.
Knock, knock. Bob Saget.
This guy sucks.
During a Reddit AMA, Bob Saget was asked about his portrayal on South Park. He responded by saying he loved how Grandpa laughed at his jokes. Comparing it to relationships, he said the parody felt good and hurt all at the same time.
I come out and I look like, Beavis and Butthead meet Frankenstein.
Number 12. Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart and her various shows have been depicted several times over the years on South Park.
Back now with more on Martha Stewart Living.
Her first appearance saw us learn about an unusual way to consume a Thanksgiving Day turkey, whereas a season 13 episode gave us one of the most creative ways to make use of paper and glitter crafts. Either way, much like Bob Saget, she also addressed her appearances on South Park during a Reddit AMA.
Mrs. Stewart, we have some questions.
Not right now, I just want to focus on my turkey.
Her answer was quick and simple. I thought it was really cute. We're not sure if she saw both of these episodes, but we're guessing she thought they were a good thing.
So now we're ready to go. Looks delicious. Let's try it out.
Number 11. Sally Struthers. Sally Struthers may have got her start on All in the Family, but she went on to become a spokesperson for Child Fund, a charity focused on helping children in third world countries. Her commercials would often air on television, showing her amongst the kids.
Hunger is an enemy that we all must fight. These children desperately need your support.
South Park did their own story about children in Africa and featured an oversized Struthers who had been hoarding all of the donated food.
You guys! Sally Struthers is holding food from us! Uh-oh.
According to the Season 1 DVD commentary, Struthers was a big fan of the show until this episode aired. It continues by saying she was so bothered by what she saw in the episode that she was emotionally distressed for days.
People thought it was really mean to Sally Struthers, and apparently Sally Struthers was a fan of South Park up until she saw this episode, and it really bummed her out, and what we heard is that she cried for like days.
Number 10. Nick Jonas. To kick off Season 13 of South Park, Kenny and his new girlfriend go off to see the Jonas Brothers in concert.
Oh my god! It's that tingling again!
The episode takes shots at the brothers by mentioning how they wear purity rings and are essentially servants to a maniacal Mickey Mouse.
Well, maybe we'll just refuse to go on stage. Woof.
During a 2016 Reddit Ask Me Anything, Nick Jonas admitted he wasn't a big fan of the episode when it originally came out. He said that he had so much going on when he was parodied that it was hard to find the humor in it. However, the episode has since grown on him. He finds it funny and has watched it several times since then. It's nice to see Nick Jonas being able to laugh at his younger self. Number 9. Cesar Millan. In Season 10's episode, Cartman's mom hires Cesar Millan as a trainer to try and get Cartman in line.
Mom, this is degrading! Ah, God damn it!
By treating him much like a dog, it doesn't take long for the celeb to make Cartman listen and behave.
Oh, Eric, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you?
I love you, sweetie.
Okay, Mom, you're embarrassing me. Jeez.
This entry is unique in that it's the only one on the list where the person being featured made their own YouTube reaction video for their episode. For the better part of almost 20 minutes, Cesar breaks down the different things the show did and said.
The clothes that I'm wearing is exactly what I used to wear.
He's more than complimentary to the creators and shows a genuine love for what they do.
They did an incredible job of representing exactly what I do.
Now that is how you react to being on South Park. Number 8. Al Gore. When Season 10's Man Bear Pig episode aired, it was intended to poke fun at how frequently Al Gore wanted to talk about climate change.
Man Bear Pig?
It is a creature which roams the earth alone. It is half man, half bear, and half pig.
The creators had no problem roasting how intense the politician got about his beliefs. Yet more than 10 years later, they'd changed their minds and made an in-episode apology to Gore.
Real at all.
During an appearance on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, Gore was asked about what he thought of his portrayal. Not only did he think his original episode was funny, but he praised the show for later acknowledging how real Man Bear Pig turned out to be. It was great to see Gore take everything in stride and appreciate what the show had done.
I thought it was a hell of a statement by South Park, and I appreciated it a lot.
Number 7. Russell Crowe.
You walked right through my shot, mate. Do you know who I am?
Oh, excuse me, I was just...
Never afraid to go after whomever was causing a stir in the real world, the folks at South Park took aim at Gladiator star Russell Crowe.
He loves to act, but he loves one thing more: fighting round the world.
He'd been in the news several times due to his aggressive behavior. The writers took this to the nth degree and devoted an entire storyline where they showed him as a person who just picks fights around the world.
Oh, you want to fight, huh? Think you can take me, you little buggers?
When Crowe appeared on 60 Minutes, he was asked about his portrayal on the show. He was quick to compliment Parker and Stone for their work. Crowe also admitted that seeing himself in such an exaggerated manner actually got him to reflect on his own life.
For me, a lot of it, if there was something for me to learn from it, is the analogous thing, because I did think the whole thing was a fight. I did think my whole career was a struggle.
Judging from his statements, it seems as though seeing his depiction on South Park may have actually been therapeutic for the actor. Number 6. George R.R. Martin.
It's the Red Wedding, isn't it?
You hate how I killed everyone off.
South Park once opted to do a 3-part episode devoted to HBO's Game of Thrones. The epic comedy is set in and around Black Friday. During the story, the boys fight each other over access to the 2 new game consoles coming out that weekend. Partway, though, George R.R. Martin, the author of the books which inspired Game of Thrones, appears. He tries to help the boys with dragon knowledge, but keeps talking about one particular part of human anatomy.
Stop, please! I can't take anymore!
But this is the best part!
The real Martin is a fan of the show and largely likes his South Park portrayal, but he did have a hilarious and not exactly safe for work response indicating that he's actually obsessed with another physical feature of human beings. Number 5. Lorde. No matter how many times we talk about Randy Marsh as Lorde, it still makes us laugh.
Lorde, we're all big fans of your music, and we think the world of you for staying and working here even after your music career took off.
Well, my music and fluvial geomorphology are intertwined.
But knowing what the singer herself thinks about it makes the plotline even better. At the start of season 18, we get a glimpse of Randy Marsh dressed up as Lorde singing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I am Lorde, yeah, yeah, yeah. Lord, Lord, come in, Lord, yeah, yeah, yeah.
This turns into a story later on where we find out he's the real singer and is struggling to maintain his dual identities.
My girls are big fans of your music, Lorde, but the women here aren't comfortable sharing a bathroom with...
With what?
During an interview and on her own social media outlets, Lorde gave praise for the show's portrayal of her. She even went as far as to do an impression of Randy doing his impression of her.
Yeah, 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 I'm Lorde. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Lorde's meta compliment is a huge sign of her approval. Number 4. Barbra Streisand. Way back, during the first season of South Park, the show decided to take aim at Barbra Streisand.
I'm going where there's lucky clovers in the... sucks, dude!
The show's creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, chose her mainly out of her distaste for their home state of Colorado, whom she had swore to never return to. After being portrayed in the episode Mecha Streisand, the singer responded with a fairly serious answer. Instead of simply taking the jab with a grain of salt, she called out their particular brand of satire. Streisand claimed shows like South Park add cynicism and negativity in our culture, especially in children. Stone and Parker clearly didn't take her comments too much to heart because they continued to make fun of her.
There she is, Tom. Barbra Streisand.
My God, she's even more terrifying than I remembered.
Number 3. Jennifer Lopez. When 2003 rolled around and J-Lo made her first appearance on South Park, the singer-actress wasn't exactly a fan.
But you don't have to ask me. You can ask my special guest, Miss Jennifer Lopez. No way. Miss Lopez, come on out here.
Hello? Oh, Jesus Christ. My name is Jennifer Lopez. I eat tacos y burritos.
Even prior to the episode's airing, it appeared that South Park co-creator Trey Parker had already gotten on her bad side after infamously wearing her dress to the 2000 Oscars. After season 7's Fat Butt and Pancake Head came along, the bad blood she had for the show and its creators seemed to intensify.
That's what replaced me?
I'm sure it was just a mistake. Only mistake was when this ghetto trash got signed in the first place. Shut your goddamn mouth.
Parker and Stone had even heard that people were allegedly fired from the set of a J-Lo movie after repeating lines from the episode around her. We wouldn't recommend mentioning the show at all if you're ever around the pop star.
Do you remember what I want to order? 3 tacos, 2 tostadas, and a soda pop.
Number 2. Kanye West.
Do you like fish sticks?
Love them. You're a gay fish. No, I'm not. Ah!
Do you like fish sticks? Well, apparently Kanye West doesn't.
You really don't get it.
Hey, man, I'm a genius, all right? I'm the most talented musician in the world.
During a season 13 episode, Cartman and Jimmy come up with a silly joke about fish sticks that serves as a double entendre. Although everyone on Earth is laughing at the joke, the only one who doesn't get it is Kanye West.
Is it because breaded has something to do with genius, which swims?
No, because you said you like fish sticks, Kanye. Don't you get it? You see, fish dicks is a play on words.
Things went slightly differently in the real world when West responded to his portrayal with an all-caps post. During the post, he claimed he was working on some of the negative aspects of his personality and talked about the nature of celebrity. But West also complimented the show's creators and admitted to finding the show funny. It was weirdly inspiring to see the musician rolling with the punches. However, a lyric from his song Gorgeous may have indicated that he was still feeling bitter about the whole ordeal.
We make them say oh cause the game's so pimpish. Choke a South Park writer with a fish stick.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Tom Cruise.
Elron! It really is you! Oh, this is the greatest day of my life.
South Park has made itself known as being willing to go after anyone, regardless of who they are. One of the most well-known reactions to an episode of the show came after Season 9's Trapped in the Closet episode. The story poked fun at both Scientology and Tom Cruise.
Tom, don't you think this has gone on long enough? It's time for you to come out of the closet.
I'm not in the closet.
Rumor has it that the actor was so offended by the episode that he threatened to pull his Mission Impossible 3 press tour unless the network agreed to not rerun the episode in question.
Don't threaten me. Just don't.
Whether or not Cruise actually made this threat was irrelevant because the original re-airing was pulled. It did make the air again eventually, without issue, long after the heat of the actor controversy cooled down.
So you're not the prophet, huh? You made me look stupid. I'm gonna sue you too.
Well, fine. Go ahead and sue me.
I will. I'll sue you in England.
How do you think celebrities should react to being parodied on South Park? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
From the creators of Derp and Tum to Teedly Dumpy Derp, Rob Schneider is da derp de derp da teedly derpy derpy dum.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.